Adorable. He's counting.
Yeah, I'm counting because that's how this works, Vertigo. Hello and welcome to the Captain's Table. This is a podcast where I bring people from all over the Star Citizen community to talk about Star Citizen. But today I brought Fastcart, BusterTheDestroyer, and HCVertigo together. So the Star Citizen is going to be a vague general guess in this direction of it.
Star Citizen will be the paste that holds the paper mache of this podcast together.
Yes, we are. This is a heads up already. If you're watching this on YouTube, and you probably already see it in the timeline, we may go over a while. It may be a little bit longer than a typical episode. This and the Q&A sessions. So, anywho, let's get started with introductions. Starting with the wonderful. Manly, perfect BusterTheDestroyer. I'm not going to start that way.
I knew you should do that. I knew you could do that. I am kind of masculine sometimes.
One of the official, unofficial ambassadors of Star Citizen, Mr. Black Jurassic himself. Fastcart, who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen, and where can they find you?
Hello, I'm Fastcart, also known as FC, and whenever Paul says in the black, he's really talking about Black Jurassic, so now you know.
Yes. That's actually a nickname for that was created on the Captain's Table, a Q&A session. So literally, and it came up from Fastcart, and it had nothing to do with what you think it did, because it's Fastcart.
Sure, let's go with that.
You were wearing a black
citizens.
You were wearing a black shirt, and you had a copy of Jurassic World next to you, and it was the question.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's where it came from.
And today I'm wearing a red shirt, and I got BusterTheDestroyer on. So today I'm literally only going to last 15 minutes into the show. So just so you know.
There we go. And who is Soul Citizens? Where can they find you? All that kind of stuff.
Soul Citizens is a group of people, mostly people of color, or you can call us urban, who talk about Star Citizen on Thursdays and Sundays on twitch.tv/Soul Citizens. And in a couple of weeks, we'll have BusterTheDestroyer on.
Awesome. I've actually been on there twice. I'll probably be on there again at some point. I'm sure Griffin will be like, Paul, come on. And I'll be like, okay. Because that's just usually how it happens. It's no give or takes. It's just Paul, come onto the Soul Citizens. It's like, all right, when?
That's what happened to me. I was like, hey, Fastcart, come on Captain Table. Like, okay. Yeah. What happened? Yeah. Then I watched the previous episode. Now I know what happened. So I'm glad to be on at the end of Black History Month. So thank you.
No problem. I always get razzed from Fastcart because I always just leaves my brain. It's like Black History Month. We have black people on the show, Paul. I'm like, yeah, I probably do that. And it's usually Fastcart who's messaging me, being like, Paul, do it, Paul. I'm available, Paul. Can I come on, Paul?
Yeah, Paul, yeah, Paul.
Paul. All right. HCVertigo, who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen, and where can they find you? Oh, Sultan of Salt.
I'm a Star Citizen content creator. I would say Star Citizen streamer, but I'm starting to do more YouTube stuff these days. You can find me over at Twitch TV/HCVertigo, Twitter HCVertigo over there. You can find me on YouTube HCVertigo. Got a new video out on the Aries Ion. And we can talk a little bit about some of the realizations I had on the Ion, trying to think up a script for it. Past the introduction, but
yeah,
mostly I play a lot of Star Citizen. Various gameplay loops, but Jump Town's going on right now, so it's a lot of combat, a lot of PvP, a lot of cargo hauling, that kind of stuff. Shenanigans mostly these days. So there you go.
All right, and last but certainly not least, we have the one, the only BusterTheDestroyer. Is it T-Destroyer on Instagram? It's just Buster and BusterTheDestroyer everywhere else.
It's BusterTheDestroyer everywhere else, but on Twitch it's BusterTheDestroyer. So it used to be BusterTDestroyer back on Twitch in the day, and I used to tell everybody the T stands for the.
Mm-hmm. So who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen, and where can they find you?
So I Busterog Pomoje, as I always start off with. I am a Star Citizen streamer primarily here on Twitch. I do other stuff. I am actually part of Paul's group called the Spice Must Roll, where we play various sci-fi tabletop RPGs. We're back kind of in season for it for the year, and we're doing Expanse right now, and then we're going to start Vasquez up in probably a month or so. And then I have a new show that I'm doing here on Twitch. It's called it hasn't been given a quite name pending, but it's the USS Shran, and they'll be on like a not even a medical, like an aid and relief mission instead of the traditional exploration mission in Star Trek. So, and I will be the game master of that game. So, but yeah, you can find me here on Twitch, twitch.tv/BusterTheDestroyer. You can find me on a bunch of the places as BusterDestroyer. So you're good. Sorry, I might end up griefing your show tonight.
You will, but you will not be the only griefer, because we also have Vertigo and Fastcart.
So yeah, there you go.
All right.
That's who I am.
So let's get to the first topic at hand, which is 317. Last roadmap roundup, there was a bunch of stuff that they committed. Now, it's important to remember that committed does not mean it's going to happen 100%. It means that they have about it's like an 80% guess that it's going to make it in the next patch. And so there's a bunch of stuff that was added there. Was committed, I should say, for 317, including the two big ones were, I think, refueling and selling to shops are the two big ones, and some other stuff like the coffee, the wonderful coffee that Vertigo's already left. I look down and Vertigo is gone. It's like, I'm going to get my coffee.
Yep, went to top my coffee cup up. So, I swear to God, like I said years ago, that I didn't think salvage would make it before refueling, because refueling just made more sense overall for the state of Star Citizen. And I almost feel vindicated. I think salvage is going to get pushed back again.
Well, let's start with Buster for the discussion, then we'll move to Vertigo and then to Fastcart. Right. Okay, so Buster, what are your thoughts on 317? Like goods, bads, things you're looking at that might affect people in the game?
First, I want to take the opportunity to tell Star Citizen's current state. You are 316 going on 317, baby. It's time to think. Sorry, that was my joke that I was really excited about. But I don't know. Like, I looked at the stuff the other day, and I don't know. Here's the thing with Star Citizen patches is if there's quality of life in there, that's the thing I'm just generally going to care the most about. Like little dumb things that they sneak in.
Okay, so mostly you're looking forward to like the
quality of life stuff,
hot fixes, those sorts of things.
Yeah, I'm just always wanting the game mechanics to work better, and I think what's coming in 317 sounds interesting, but at the same time, it's like, I'm one of those people. Just see it and let's see what happens. I don't know. I'm not
super like invested in the future, like what's coming in the next patch, sort of thing.
I can be if it's something I'm really like hype about, like in particular. But I mean, stuff like the eye, like what's coming is like one of the things with like the face, the changes with the faces, like the
DNA head textures.
That I'm excited to see, because I actually like have a very specific recipe for my character that I know by heart. And it's always interesting when they pull more stuff in, because it's like, okay, does it change it up a little bit? Like, do I have more features to add to my person? And I enjoy that. So that to me is always really nice. And the way the eyes and stuff, they talked about like the eye textures and things like that. That was really beautiful. The eyelashes look like 100% better.
Eyebrows, I know. Finally.
Well, changeable eyebrows. Oh my God. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord for that, because I might do different skin now with like a different eyebrow, instead of having to assign a specific skin tone just to get that eyebrow that I like, or that makeup. And that's something they didn't mention in the video, but I really like to see, because in the past they snuck in a little bit of makeup on some of the different skin tones, and I'd like to see like if the makeup is in any way changed, or if they've added new makeup features and stuff. Now, I don't expect it to be separated from the skin tone itself. Like, you know, you pick your makeup style, but to see what makeup styles are available on what may possibly be new skin tones and stuff. So
I think they mentioned something about makeup coming forward. So what's up, Fastcart?
Yeah, they on the Inside Star Citizen, they said they wanted to make makeup like a separate thing and tattoos,
I didn't hear
scars.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I say that I hope we reach the point that when something blows up in our face, we lose our eyebrows and get that permanent surprise look.
Yeah, what is it? Well, what would that be called? Like face damage or something like that?
Face damage.
Procedural face damage.
Yeah, procedural.
Oh God,
like,
we just added 2 years to the development of Star Citizen. Thanks, guys.
For eyebrow blunts. Call. I know you have a hotline to Chris Roberts.
Eyebrow
at
destruction.
Buster, so you know, just
yeah. Let me give him an old call here.
Okay.
Oh no, I can tell what the number was.
Yeah, we're on cabin's table. I can't talk for long, but I hope you're enjoying your meal and that they want the thing that they just talked about. I forgot. Go back on the pod.
Wow.
She is committed to this gag.
Yeah. She's actually talking to Chris Roberts. Don't you know that? Vertigo?
Yeah. It's a direct line to him. You know.
Yeah.
It's his phone only functions to call him.
That's all it does. It's a own thing. Vertigo, what's your thoughts? 317. You know, what are you seeing in there? What is goods, bads?
I mean, like the whole series getting pushed out. It's nice. Refueling finally being put in is nice. You know, the more gameplay stuff CIG gets out of the way, the better. The more they can move on to other stuff. Anytime CIG finishes something or adds it to the game, like STF shields, the new inventory system, medical stuff, they can move on to something else and add that into the game, and then they can. Once they get far enough along with that stuff, they can start bug fixing and polishing and balancing that stuff. So I'm happy with that. Finally give a reason for people to... I've known there's a few people that really love the MISC ships, and the Starfarer was like their first love. They like the idea of the Starfarer. So those people are going to be happy finally. After all these years, we finally have a use for the Starfarer. So that'll be nice. They also mentioned the Starfarer maybe getting a internal rework or an internal update, I guess. It's not going to be so... I think rework is probably a too strong of a word. But they're talking about looking at the interior and figuring some other stuff out about it.
I mean, they don't really need to, like, update the interior. What they need in the interior of the Starfarer is the same thing they need the interior of the 600. It's not like the exterior is the problem. It's that the interior...
exterior is fine.
And like even like the cockpit or like the bridge of the Starfarer.
I like the bridge area. Like that's fine.
It's the layout, the mid layout.
It's mostly just moving about the ship is too confusing.
Yeah,
it's not designed like a ship to be moved about. Like I'd rather just have a central elevator system. You know that where they're definitely getting rid of that bottom airlock. They've been getting rid of all the top and bottom airlocks from tons of ships. The 300i lost its. The Cutlass lost its top and bottom airlocks. The Retaliator on its gold standard rework they showed off a little while ago. It's losing its top and bottom airlocks and it's going to one side. So CIG doesn't want to do the top and bottom egress from starships into stations or other ships. They want to do.
Had the Mustang lost it?
Yeah, Mustang lost its top and bottom.
Yeah.
They got rid of the Hobbins hole for the Mustang, so you can just crawl into from like a Gladius entrance.
Maybe the Mustangs just stop drinking tequila.
Yeah. Stop drinking tequila. So I think like, I'd rather just have like a central elevator where that's just where the entrance to that bottom airlock is in the cargo bay. I'd rather just have an elevator that just takes you all the way, kind of like how the Carrack has an elevator.
Yeah.
Towards the back that just takes you to all the decks. I'd rather have that instead of these weird stairwells, winding stairwells around the side of the ship. It'll be a little bit easier to move around the ship a bit. But other than that, like I said, the egress is really just the problem, just getting between the various decks. There's too much time spent wandering around the ship trying to find out how do I get to the next deck.
It's a little also, it also makes it a problem because you also need to be able to refuel ships because that's its main job. So like it's not clear where you go to refuel other than like out in space. And there's no like safety.
They're going to have a refueling. They're going to have a refueling thing on the boom. So I'm assuming it's going to be like at least a 2-person job.
Yeah,
because they're going to have to like go to the refueling boom to actually engage the refueling process.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's also got to be a place where you can engage the boom from like
The cockpit,
safer
yeah.
location, like the cockpit or like a station. It's not really easy to tell where that is necessarily. So any of the gameplay interest you? The selling back.
I mean, like it's
Are you
been like.
going to stop hoarding? Are you going to stop breaking the servers as always with your hoard?
No, I mean, like, I guarantee you, it's not going to be financially viable or fiscally viable to sell stuff. It's going to be super tedious. The first implementation of selling stuff back
Individually, one at a time, over and over again.
Yeah. It's not. There's going to be no stacking, so you can't have like 100 P4ARs. Those assault rifles. You can't have 100 assault rifles, and you can't just say stack them all into one group and then sell all that group to the vendor. You're going to have to sell one, and then sell one, then sell one, and then sell one. It's going to take you forever to sell stuff off, but it's going to be the first step in the process. And it's been since like buying from stores was added like in 2.0, which I want to say was like 2016 when the baby P was first added. And then of course they had a shop updates throughout over the 3.0 branches. So it's been over 6 years since we had the ability to buy stuff. Like I just did the timeline for Star Citizen is just unbelievable sometimes. Like you think one feature would flow right after another feature, like buying then selling, but like the shopping experience, they really need to go and redo the shopping experience. I'm hoping with selling back to shops that maybe they'll touch up on the UI for buying stuff and selling stuff. So instead of having just buying one at a time or buying everything, why would I want to buy 5,000 Medipens unless I'm buying it for my org, right?
And if I'm buying from org, I should be buying in bulk rather than buying one at a time. I shouldn't be buying 5,000 pens, you know?
Yeah, I'd rather buy like No Man's Sky does it. Like you can just hold down the plus button and it just keeps adding to it, or it keeps adding more to your cart until you let go, or you'd be able to click on the number and just, because we have keyboards in front of us, we can just type a number.
Oh, is that what that's for?
Yeah, we could just type a number in. Like, we could just buy how much we want. We could just type in how much we want to buy. I don't know. Like, I really want to see a shopping update to make it less tedious.
I agree. I think the reality is we're also getting a fuel and restock and that kind of update for the UI with refueling. So it would make sense that you would have a vendor UI update with selling. But
I'm not holding my breath for anything major. Like Star Citizen has hyped me up before in the past with like marketing stuff before, and then the update comes out and it was just like, well, I expected more. Yeah. So I am curbing my enthusiasm for 317.
Okay.
And if my expectations are met, I'll be pleased. If they're surpassed, I'll be surprised. But my expectations are pretty low.
Well, let me chain two things together for you then.
Go for it.
We can go with the Aries as well with this discussion. Do you think the Scorpius will come out and then just get instantly nerfed in 318? It'd be overpowered in 317 and instantly nerfed in 318.
It's got a lot of firepower. It's like similar to the Hurricane.
Yeah.
And the Hurricane you don't see a lot mostly because the Hurricane requires like 2 people. The Scorpius is somewhat similar to the Saber, but it's bigger. It's got more surface area. So I don't think the Scorpius is going to be super powerful when it first comes out. I think it'll be powerful if it has 2 people in it. But the Hurricane's probably going to outshine it because the Hurricane it's got more going on, I think. So, but the problem is getting people to actually play with you in Star Citizen.
Yeah,
that's the real problem. Like, I've been seeing a lot of grumbling from the content creation community over just the amount of bugs and it's the way the inventory and the medical system interact. And we've been playing with the inventory medical system a lot recently. It's just been just an endless source of salt. Oh no, I died again, and I have to redo my inventory. Do I want to do fighting stuff? Okay, if I want to just do ship combat, I should just equip a flight suit with a helmet. And it's just like, oh man, I'm doing this ship stuff. There's this mission for doing like a box thing. I should, oh man, I didn't bring a ship with a cargo bay, and I just got a flight suit on. I don't have any weapons. I'd have to go back to Everest Harbor or go back to load up on FPS weapons and change my ship. It's inconvenient. Okay. But if you want to talk about the Ion,
because I wanted to bring that up here because that's like what a lot of people like.
Yeah,
said, like,
the instant nerf. The Ion had different expectations. Like the marketing that CIG put out for the Ion was like super problematic. I mean, this is something super new.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ion was sold to the community as something that was going to be super powerful, like a howitzer on a starship, which was a dumb design. Like I cannot be madder about the Ion than I am right now. This is my angry
You're not
face.
the only one.
Yeah.
We have quite a few people on Solar Citizens who feel the same way. So
I think Star Citizen would be better if it just deleted the Ion and the Aries. Well, not the Aries entirely, specifically the Ion. The Inferno I don't have much of a problem with because the balance can be balanced around its ammo, how much ammo capacity it has, how the damage each bullet does. The Ion is basically like the Dreadnought syndrome for Star Citizen, and lore-wise, I actually had some conversation with in the YouTube comments of my video that I released recently. How problematic the lore for the Ion is. Like, if you don't know, back in the 1900s. Britain was the ruler of the waves. They owned all the trade routes. They had the biggest navy of anyone else, probably the most navy of any of the other nations combined. And naval warfare at the time was really bad because you had to get binoculars out. You had to look at the other ships through binoculars, and you had to kind of guess about how far the ship was. And you had to have a lot of different guns, little big guns. You had to have small guns. You had to have machine guns because you didn't know if people were going to send big boats or little boats against you. And then they invented the Dreadnought, literally the HMS Dreadnought, which was a new class that the British christened, and came with a whole bunch of new upgrades, new engines, new targeting systems, new fire control, new guns, new armor types. And basically they thought to themselves, why don't we just make a big ship go really fast and have big guns on it, and we just shell everybody from miles away before they can get even close to us. And then this led to the revolution of everybody was like, hey, that's a really good idea. We should steal that idea. And then everybody started building dreadnoughts. And then Britain was like, oh shit, we only have the one, and everybody's building like 10. Mm-hmm. We better scrap our entire fleet and build as many dreadnoughts as we can.
Yeah, they basically built themselves out of a fleet because their fleet was so big and so powerful that they realized that one dreadnought could kill their entire fleet. Yeah. So they're like, we just
what's the point of having anything else?
Yeah.
We need dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the problem with the Ion, really, is it is such a huge leap. We've never seen something like the Ion before in Star Citizen. Like, it has never been hinted to before that kind of weapon can be put on that size of ship. Yeah. And if the Ion can hold that size of energy cannon, what can't? Why can't you put it on a Kraken? Why can't you put it on a Caterpillar? Just have a broadside of size 7s across down the side of a Caterpillar.
Yeah,
like it's silly.
I want to see an Aurora with a size 7.
Well, to be fair, even in lore, this is a brand new weapon and a brand
which
new
is being
ship.
sold to citizens, which will end up in pirate hands. Like it's stupid, and it will get captured by the Vandal, get captured by the Kurthok, it'll be captured by the Banu. The Banu will sell to everybody.
Yeah,
it's lore-wise, it's irresponsible and stupid for this thing to even exist. It breaks my mind the more I think about just the lore surrounding the Ion and how it was offered.
Here's the thing. That's incredibly in style for Star Citizen because it's all about it's all about appeasing the big companies in the lores like that. So it's like the fact that Crusader owns its own planet and also is running around with Bering, the other big company that's making weapons, building effectively mini armies on their own, and the UEE is just like, they pay us a lot of money, so we don't care. Is so very on brand for the whole situation.
Yeah, like I said, in lore, you have to justify this allowing to even then, they probably wouldn't let this thing get out to the general public. You'd want to keep it within your own, because just the leap forward, if this thing got into like the Vandals' hands, you'd have like a whole other problem. Because Vandal are good at that. They like scrapping technology from other races and just incorporating it into their own designs. That's a lore thing I know about the Vandal.
Go ahead, Fastcart.
I love how HCVertigo is going on this rant. It's like cat and dog living together. The apocalypse is coming.
There you go. There's the Ion.
That was the Ion thing you were going to talk about? Yeah. Because I knew you want to talk about it. All right. Fastcart, your thoughts on 317?
Well, 'cause I just want to say that the 10 minutes have passed, and I just want to say this is my bank thing here, and this is my casting couch. And Paul, you're up first. But my thoughts on the 217 is I liked what they talk about with the DNA heads on on ISC. I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that I have more African American hair. I'm not going to say black men hair, but just African American hair. Or maybe like some people in Soul City want to fade. Some people want an actual bald head. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And Coffee Shop is just going to be the end all and be up. No, I'm kidding. I'm looking forward to Hull A. I don't really have a Hull A, but I probably will get one in the PU. But I do have a Hull B. So the Hull A will be a stepping stone to a Hull B, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, okay, get the loaners. Loaners for everyone with the holes get a Hull A for a loaner, I guess.
I bet you're going to get a Hull A for a loaner. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah. And as far as Scorpius goes, I mean, for me, I backed when in 2014, and it was for me the meta was always the Super Hornet with monoboating with Super Hornet, and how CIG didn't want people to monoboat, but people were monoboating because the pips all lined up, and that's what worked back then. Then the Saber came out, and that became new meta. But then they nerfed the Saber. So I think ship coming out overpowered and then being nerfed had been a thing for constructors for a while. So I think the Scorpius will probably be the same way.
It'll be pretty powerful. Well, we'll see how it works, because I don't remember what the loadout it has. Because that was like one of the problems with the Ion is that it's a bespoke size 7, but like the whole, you can put whatever you want. Is it size 3s or size 4s on a Scorpius?
I'm not
size
sure.
3s, I believe. It's basically a saber times a saber for a Scorpius.
Okay.
It's size 3s on top with a size, but four size 3s for the pilot, and then the turret gunner has 4 size 3s as well. So it's basically a saber squared.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'll give you my summarization. Go ahead, Fastcart.
Oh, I got to say, the Louisville Hospital, the Maria Pure Heart, that should be interesting. I know that, have they really said, like, what the lore is for the hospital? Like, how they said that it's because they had one good Louisville sibling, or because I'm more cynical. I think the lore is going to be like, she was so cynical, she made a hospital just to make her people think that she was a good one when she's actually the worst one. That's my take. But have they said anything about the Louisville Hospital lore?
No, but I could almost agree with that. Is that she's just trying to make herself look good? Because the thing about the Hurstons is that the Hurstons are all in competition with each other. Like Constantine Hurston is a member of the Hurston family, but all Hurstons are supposed to work from the bottom to the top. So once you come of age, you're expected to work in the company as like a low-level manager, and the people who become CEOs have to basically slit each other's throats to try to get to become CEO. So yeah, my guy says she's the worst of the bunch, and she just have the hospital named after her. So she's number one in the family now because of that. Maria Hurston was probably that. She probably founded it as being like, look, I'm so good, and I'm helping out with all these other people. I'm so popular. Please hire me as CEO.
So yeah, that's my thought about 317.
I think the biggest thing for me is selling stuff back, but that's because I'm a loot goblin, and like if you give me a reason to stick around a area to like loot everything and carry it back and sell it, I don't care if it's economical. I don't care if it's like a good option. I'm gonna do it because I'm stupid like that. I will take everything that is not bolted down and then go sell it if I want to, especially since I've got so much garbage in my current inventory that I just never use. That I bought for like one thing and never used it again. 317 seems a lot like it seems like what it is, which is a Q1 patch, which is usually whatever was left over from Q4 that didn't make it is going in, and then some other smaller things that they could get done. Like the coffee shop, which is only one coffee shop and on Area 18.
I don't even know why that is even on the roadmap. That is just basically fluffing
I can tell
the roadmap.
I can tell you why it's in. It's just because they even said it in the monthly reports. They just were they built new AI behavior for bartenders. And using that the new AI behavior, they prototyped a barista. And that's basically what it is. There's just their prototyped barista now in game. And for whatever reason, they put it in Area 18. So,
Well, they need their coffee.
They need their coffee. I like the memes. The coffee shop. The memes coming out of the coffee shop being added to like. Is a coffee shop going to replace this? Is this going to replace Inside Source? Yeah. It's just the number of memes about the coffee shop. Anytime the community doesn't like something, they're just like, I just added another coffee shop to the game. CIG, that'll fix everything.
All right, let's go with the next topic, which is Planetary navmesh. In ISC, they recently kind of talked about the Planetary navmesh, talked about it being kind of working. So for those of you who don't know, the quick and dirty of it is that the Planetary navmesh allows for AI to basically read the area around them and walk across the surface of the planets rather than with the way they work right now, which is they're just set to a certain area like Lorville or a station. This allows for AI to leave their kind of cubbyhole areas, like just the bunker missions, and able to like maybe even chase you out of a bunker or whatever, go out into the open area more procedurally. It essentially kind of proceduralizes the AI's ability to move around. And they said that they gave a date somehow that slipped through and said it was going to come out in either 3.18 or 3.19 is what their plan.
Did they give a date though? Really?
They did say that.
I mean, yeah, they did. I think they had a lot of caveat though.
Yeah,
so.
it was a lot of it's like they gave enough caveats in there that you could probably put it into a legal document. It's just being like non-committal. We're totally not. This is not exactly, but this is what we think. Maybe, possibly, one day, hopefully, 3.18, 3.19. So let's start with you, Fastcart, on this, since you're the last one to talk about it. What is your thoughts on the Planetary navmesh?
I don't have too much to say about it. I'm looking forward to it. My thing is mostly about ships and the DNA head from ISC, but as far as the Planetary navmesh, hopefully it'll be cool enough that they can, come out with the Pioneer. They can land on it and make colonies. Because we are seeing a lot of sneak peeks when it comes to colonies. And so we'll see how it goes. I mean, as far as Pyro and everything, and the other thing that the SCO had was, starts live, we're talking about Pyro, the road to Pyro. So this will probably tie in a lot into that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, but it's not really my bag.
Okay. Vertigo, what are your thoughts? Any initial ideas about where this might lead, at least in the next, in the patch it's out?
I mean, there's a very crass, very vulgar scenario I could throw out there, but we're trying to clean things up here. But I can just imagine you stepping out of your ship and having 4 dudes teleport to you immediately and just shoot you all at once. Just because that's kind of how it does. That's how it happens in underground facilities sometimes. You walk into the facility, you see a guy right over. Okay, there's a guy in that corner, and suddenly he's in your face shooting you, and it's just like, okay, this has happened. Just the bugs that will happen regardless. There's NPCs falling through planets, them getting stuck on tiny little rocks, them teleporting to you because desync and whatnot. There's tons of stuff. I'm glad it's being worked on. So CIG adds the navmesh, good. We can start tuning it, updating it, getting it to moving on to other stuff that they need to add for AI. I'm not holding my breath on it being complete when it releases. They obviously need polishing and bug fixes and tuning and whatnot. But anytime CIG adds something that obviously it needs. I don't know how revolutionary the tech they showed off is because I'm not a developer. I'm not a programmer.
I've talked with other people about this in the past. It's pretty standard. It's not an unstandard thing for them to use. If it's something that's standard, then it's a known entity. This is one of the reasons why a lot of the city planning folks, like when they do the traffic camera or whatnot, for traffics, tuning the lights, a lot of the hardware they use for that stuff is stuff that's been on the shelf for over 60 years. Yeah,
because They know exactly how it works. They know its failure rates. They know all the trouble signs, how to troubleshoot if something goes wrong. And the stuff is cheap, it's reliable, and when it does break, they know exactly how to fix it. And it's been around for so long that anybody can fix it. There's tons of data out there and whatnot. What do they call it? Service literature on how to fix this stuff. So more power to them. Instead of having to develop a new piece of technology and waste a whole bunch of time trying to figure out how it's going to work, and then be like, they're just using something that everybody already knows that works. Why not?
Okay.
So I don't got much to say on it. It's great that they're adding it. It's great that it's going to be in Star Citizen. I'm not expecting anything amazing when it first gets deployed.
Okay.
It's going to take bug fixing and tuning and whatnot to really get it working better.
Buster, your thoughts on the planetary nav mesh? Do you think it's going to add anything new in the
First of all, I chipped my nail polish, and I'm very upset about it.
Oh,
I saw you working on your nails over there.
But my shape's good, and I was gonna repaint them tonight anyway. But here's the thing: is I'm looking forward to it, and Vertigo kind of talked about like it's gonna come with bugs inevitably, and that's fine. But like, can we just appreciate when the little things in life, like when, an AI like just cannot stop walking into the same tree, and when an AI gets like halfway stuck through the ground, some of y'all really get mad about this stuff, but I'm going to tell you right now, I cherish these days, these limited days of chaos. So thank you for what's going to come. But I am excited about it. I like the idea of them just wandering around. Some of them might have kind of like a patrol path that they walk. Some might be a little bit more maybe they're a little more like it's not as patterned and it's a little more random. I don't know. I don't know what the plans are, but I've always been fascinated with some of their goals and their plans overall for AI. Like they want to have like different personnel, almost like different for say like an AI that's going to be dogfighting with other players. Like there might be like a series of like flying behaviors. Some of them will be really great. Some of them will be horrible because they're just terrible pilots. Like it gives it more personality. And so I like the idea. So that kind of to me, it plays into all that with the AI overall. And I'm just really fascinated by Star Citizen AI because they have such like interesting goals overall that they want for the AI, and things like this, it's like little stepping stones to help them realize their AI. And I love that. I think it's going to be fun, but I wonder if it's going to be like one of those things too, where it's like, okay, well, if there's like a border, right? Like, okay, they'll go out like, they'll go out like 2 clicks from like maybe the base they're around, and like do I cross a threshold and they just don't walk anymore, and how does that kind of resolve in the way like the character, like does the character just stand there and stare at me and he's just like I can't move anymore, or does he just like you know what, I'm too far out, and he walks back the other way? So I don't know, I'm excited. I love AI. I just want them to I want them to be happy, and I want them to live nice little lives
fulfilled
nice little lives.
Yeah.
I just want them to be happy, except when they're being assholes to me, like that guy in the shop. Oh, I hate him.
I just want to say, like, I got my banding measurement in 2015, and at the time I was like, okay, the minimum crew is 8 people, so how am I going to work this out? And so I'm interested in AI too. Hopefully they'll have like a different tiers, like A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3. And, like the topmost tier, I'll be trying to get the best one to recruit a higher to work on my measurement and my endeavor. So yes, I'm interested in AI too, and also the AI blades. I don't know, like what the difference between an AI and AI blade will be. I'm looking forward to finding that out.
Yeah. I will say the one thing I'm looking really forward to with Planetary Nav Mesh is that one AI that'll go on a patrol pattern and just walk and just not stop walking and just walks out in the middle of nowhere. because someone's going to find an AI in the middle of Hurston's Desert just walking.
You're out in the middle of Hurston Desert doing like a down satellite mission for Clovis Darneely, and there's a Microtech security guard out there, and you're just like, what?
Yeah,
I can't wait for
walking.
AI to be in ground vehicles one day. I think that's what navmesh means. That's part of what it means.
You know what I just realized. You know what
eventually.
navmesh really means? Like we could finally have fauna.
Yeah, that's what they said it in the video that they were going to talk about fauna. Yeah,
the Boreal Stalker. It's gonna be like ski free. Have you remember that ski free game that came with Microsoft Windows? Where you're skiing down the slope and the Yeti always gets you. That's basically it.
We're talking
Can I
about
the ski game. Yeah, I remember that.
I just want to make one request of CIG, and I know I don't make many requests ever, but can we have CIG, if you're out there listening, can there be at least one little squirrel, space squirrel somewhere that I can toss fries to and he'll come eat them? Because that would be so cute.
No, they're gonna add shithawks. They're gonna have little Seahawks.
Why do you always have to ruin my fun?
That just it's gonna be like seagulls. They're gonna screech at you with a really obnoxious sound while you eat your hamburger.
Chasing you.
They're gonna be like Canadian geese.
Yeah.
I just really, that's all I want. I just want a little bit.
And the worst thing is, as soon as you try to eat something anywhere, they're just going to teleport them on top of you, and you're just going to have this gigantic flock of screaming geese while you're eating your hamburger.
There's a little squirrel that lives outside of my office that I'm friends with.
Oh my god, I'm having flashbacks to Office Space now. What was it, Melvin? He was talking to the gal on the phone. He's like, there's these squirrels that live outside, and I think they're married. At least that's what the story I made up for them.
Buster,
have you seen Office Space?
Buster,
have you seen Office Space, Buster?
What the hell, Vertigo? Where are we going with this?
I don't know. She brought up the squirrels.
That's because Vertigo say that. I think we need a mismatch of Star Citizen and Ice Age with the squirrel, and it's not. That's one thing I wanted to say. The other thing I wanted to say, talk about that one NPC that's out there walking. They're not only walking, but they're singing that song. I walk 1,000 miles and I will walk
1,000 more.
Buster,
to be that man that walked 10,000. I can't remember the song.
500.
Who sings that song?
500.
Who sings the song? Vertigo?
God.
I can't remember. Probably the Blue Oyster Cult.
No.
Maybe you should let them sing it then.
Maybe we should let them sing it. No, they're probably dead by now. I need to keep the fire burning so people actually remember. We have to keep the memes alive.
Buster, I will counter and say maybe they don't do a squirrels, but maybe they do a turtle. Because
I don't care. Just some little creature it's mine. None of y'all. It doesn't like any of the rest of y'all in the verse. It's only my friend, like my squirrel outside named Gary.
Gary Gygax.
The guy who founded Dungeons and Dragons.
No, it's just named Gary because it was the name. That he's a Gary, you look at him.
Yeah, just like how the spokesman for the spokesman for Xenothreat, we call him Steve.
Is his name Steve?
Yeah, that's his name. Like I just called Steve. Like they don't have a name for it. Like Dooley's got a fucking name, but the Xenothreat guy doesn't, so he must be Steve.
Proclaimers, yes.
No, he's Mr. Xeno. Mr. Xenothreat. That's his full name. All right.
That's his full name. Kind of like Marauder Shields at the end of Mass Effect 3.
Yes.
I just want a little buddy. That's all. Just give me AI buddies.
But
only to me, turtles. Because I deserve them. The rest of y'all suck. That's what Chris Roberts said.
Yep.
On the phone.
She knows she's at the phone.
He said y'all suck.
Though in the immediate
I'm not going to go anywhere with that.
In the immediate future, I think with navmesh, I think one of the things they could do, and I hope they do, is they seem to want to do transport missions with NPC transports. I hope it means that we can, instead of just doing station to station, which is what they do they're planning on doing right now, is to have like full NPC transport, so you can land, pick up a bunch of people, take them to a location, have them get out of the ship.
Which got bumped off the roadmap, by the way. NPC taxi missions, it got bumped off.
Well, they added it.
And Paul, I love you for trying to keep the show on track, but on rail, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I see what you're doing here.
Yeah,
no, it's not going to work.
I'm behaving. Y'all aren't.
Gosh. But
see? We were talking about NPC trafficking, Paul.
Nav meshing.
Yes. I mean, we can talk about the bondage icons if you want.
We will. Oh, we are so talking.
Oh, we were so talking about that.
Paul, what is your opinion on the nav mesh?
That's what I've been saying. I think I do hope that that this leads to that, because CIG added that like whole transport mission back in like 3.16 out of nowhere. They were like, "Yeah, it's coming 3.16," and then immediately bumped it off to 3.17, and immediately like, "Oh no, we don't know where it's going now."
Basically, it's salvaging.
Yeah.
Is this replacing salvage? Is this getting a coffee shop as well?
So I'm hoping that that's the kind of where this is going, but I'm looking forward to my crazy, stupid idea of an event entirely based around ground combat and ground vehicles, because I think that's
not with the A2 existing, unless you want to have it underground.
Well, no, I mean like ground vehicles in the sense where like you can't fly into an area because they just have stupid amounts of AA. So like you try to fly something like basically picking up supplies and taking it to a location, but you have to do it on the ground. And if you try to do it in the
oh my God, Paul, yes, a xenothreat near a moon, and the Starfarer wrecks are scattered around the surface.
Yeah.
And there's like massive storms, and xenothreats set up anti-air defenses, which is how the Starfarers got shut down in the first place.
Yeah.
So you have to go in, grab the boxes like in an Ursa rover, and then drive them back out and load them into vehicles and fly.
And not only that, you have sandworms as obstacles to come.
Okay, now you're just going too far, Fastcart. Okay, like what I'm proposing is perfectly reasonable, but slow down there, Chris Roberts. Okay.
No, but I mean something that makes you get into vehicles, and then you're going to be fighting other vehicles, because I want stupid abilities to have tank to tank combat. I want my tank to be worth something other than just a pretty face. Okay.
How about Rocket League in space?
There we go.
Can they give us balls?
I mean, if we had squirrels, you could have nuts.
Can we have balls?
Oh my God! I'm trying to be good. It's
not
I'm
working.
calling Chris Roberts. Hey, we need balls. Yep, exactly. All right, bye.
CIG needs balls. That's just the answer.
Big ones, just to clarify. Okay, thank you.
Big ones, yeah, for vehicles. That's totally what we need. We need big balls.
I mean, No Man's Sky already beat CIG to a lot of these features. They have balls you can grab that lie on the surface of planets.
What are those balls called in Star City? Oh,
replace me balls.
Big red
replace me balls. Yeah.
Replace me balls. We need more of those replace me balls.
We need a mission to go out and grab a replace me ball. We should have a mission to go out and replace a light bulb or something. It's just it's a replace me mission, or a light ball or something. Like, oh yeah, there's got this clubhouse that has this disco lights. This ball light, and you have to go replace that light or something. We are so off topic, Paul. What are you doing? Paul, what is happening on this podcast?
Why did you do this?
I promised chat that this was going to happen. I promised the viewers that this was going to happen, and they're not disappointed now. All right, let's try to finish this up. Let's try to finish this up with funding. Let's try to finish this up with funding. Fastcart, you wanted to talk a little bit about funding for this last 2 months, because it is legitimately like, you know, with all the things that have been going on, all of the the controversies that have been happening in CIG. One of the things that you hear a lot about people talking about Spectrum and stuff like that is they wanted to try to boycott, or at least like send a message to CIG that they were angry and that they would just not buy stuff, or like kind of reduce funding a little bit to get them to listen to
fucking luck with that, boys. People, this is not the first time you've heard boycott being mentioned in Star Citizen.
Yeah. So Fastcart, what does the funding look like? Because for those of you who don't know, Fastcart actually helps run. Or are you the sole proprietor, or you just help? With
No. Nakara and me and some other people are part of this. Can I put it in Twitch chat later on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
The
thing
unofficial
is,
funding, what we're referring to is an unofficial funding tracker where they track all of
Right.
the milestones day to day, is so you can have
Right.
an easy idea of how much money they're making. That's what I'm telling chat. So this is what we're talking about. Go ahead.
so the last time I was on was back in November before the IAE sale, and we were trying to predict how much money Star Citizen would make in 2021. And I said 69 million. I was thinking 74, but I was thinking Paul wanted to have 420 million in total.
Mhm.
And I said, Paul, in order to get that, we would have to make as much. Star Citizen would have to make as much money as they did in 2020. And I said, there's no way they're going to do that. And meanwhile, I love the community. They proved me wrong. They said, hold my beer. And
Mhm.
they smashed the record.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, especially in January and February, had been the most profitable month for Star Citizen since the crowdfunding has started. They made I want to say 5.6 million in 2021 in February, and there's 9 days left in February this year, and they already broke that record. They're like a 6 million, I believe. I can look it up to get the exact number. So yes, I don't know what to expect this year, but I'm expecting they'll reach 500 million way before the end of the year this year.
Invictus. Do you think they'll make it by Invictus?
Invictus?
I'm
No,
sorry,
that's
yeah.
IE.
You think IE? Okay.
Yeah,
Because what are they at right now? Like 430, something like that. 430.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I can look it up real quick.
So let me
Yeah,
start with
20.
with Buster for this discussion because Fastcart wanted to talk about that as well. Buster, is this a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, obviously good for the company, but is this a bad thing that they're getting so much money for the community? Since a lot of people think that Star Citizen, because it's if they continue to get funding, that it shows that they're doing well and they'll slow down development and all that kind of thing. Is this actually a bad thing that they're getting so much money?
I don't know. I feel like with every dollar that is pledged to Star Citizen, to me, in my mind, the way I look at it is I'm trying to say the word. I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. The pressure, I suppose, to release a finished game is increased. And then maybe it's not.
Rather than decreased. Why do you think?
Yeah, because there's all these people for years and years. They talk about Star Citizen's it's all a scam, blah blah blah, or it's vaporware, it's this or it's that. They have all these negative kind of views on it, and that's fine. It's perfectly their right to have the view that they want to have. But at the same time, and I know that that's not the only reason they'd want to be successful, but if it falls flat on its face one day, which I highly doubt it will, it's just I don't know. It's like every dollar brings just more. We have to finish it. I don't know. I don't work for CIG. I don't know what it's like for them, and I don't know. I don't know how to say it. I just feel like every dollar spent is a greater increase in this, because you're basically, that also means that you are likely getting more people into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not necessarily with every little dollar, but the more that gets every year as people spend more and more each of these months and breaks the previous record of last year, the previous years of that month or whatever, it's that means the community's growing to me. I mean, sure, there's a lot of backers that are old hat backers that have been around for a while and they spend too. But CIG, I mean, their marketing tells me that they're always looking to get new people, and I mean they should. It's the more people interested in the project, the more people that are obviously pledging into it, and the more people that are interested in seeing it through.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just feel like this is a sign of the community growing. Now, to the old community, the older parts of the community, that's a good and bad thing, because one, obviously more people are supporting it. It's getting more, it's getting there faster. Well, maybe not faster, but the funding's getting there. But at the same time, there's some people, I feel like they get very well, I've been back in this game for 10 years and I'm real disappointed and this and this and that and this. And all these new people are like, they haven't been upset for 10 years. You know, they haven't been upset for like 5 years or after being hopeful for 5 or so. You know what I mean?
Some of the saltier old backers, like the hype train has far run out, and so has the hate train. Like everything is like super flaccid now. It's just like you just kind of exist in this kind of torpor of oblivience towards anything in for Star Citizen. It's just like I want to be upset over the hover quad, but
yeah, But I'll tell
I
you
want to be
why it's a
upset
good
by
thing.
the I want to be
Buster
upset by the coffee
Vertigo.
shop. I don't want to.
But let me just say real quick before Vertigo goes. I'll tell you why it's a good thing, because it gives more. It just means more perspective is coming into the game. There are more people with different perspectives that have more, like, different kinds of feedback to offer. And it's just like, what's that Vulcan phrase? The IDIC. You know, infinite diversity, infinite. It's a C word. Infinite diversity, infinite. Y'all know it, chat.
I don't know what it.
It just starts with a C.
I heard it before.
Combinations. Thank you, Q-Pan. Thank you. I knew Q-Pan would come through for me. And to me, it's almost like Star Citizen, like infinite diversity, infinite feedback. There's going to be types of feedback that are going to come through from newer players that maybe other people before didn't have, or that because they think in a different way than somebody who's fresh to it. I don't know. That's what I got to say. I think it's a good thing, because I think that the more people that come and give like the constructive, helpful feedback with different perspectives is a great thing. So,
okay.
Before HCVertigo goes, I
Go ahead, Fastcart.
That's a great statement you have there, Vertigo, but I'm going to say Buster's statement was better.
I was going to say that total February so far this year is 5.6 million, and we still have 9 days to go. They made almost 5.1 million last year in February. And so I put in the link for the crowdfunding chart, and I put it in a screenshot to show the visual for the month by month. You can tell just by looking at the visual that, you know, it's the biggest month so far this year.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
Vertigo. Let me get comfy because I want to hear the rant. All right. What are your thoughts on all of this this funding? Is it good? Is it bad? You know, is this a good thing for Star Citizen as a whole? Is this a bad thing for Star Citizen as a whole? You know.
First of all, CIG controls the funding tracker.
Yeah.
So there's always a little. I understand that CIG employees will call this FUD. But if you're looking at evaluating a company, its health, its viability for investment, or even whether or not you want to give them money, because Star Citizen, they say it's a pledge, right? We all know what the definition of a pledge is, right?
Yeah.
We all know what the definition of a pledge. Like, I have the dictionary right here if you want me to read it to you. But
no,
the idea of a pledge is that you give them money and they promise that they'll deliver something later. And there's a lot of promises on that funding tracker. So new players, right, come in, you look at that funding tracker, you could use that as an indicator of health of the overall company. As they make money, it means they're capable of delivering the product, they're capable of fulfilling all those pledges they gave to us over the years, unless they're fudging the numbers. So some people have a lot of money in this game, and Star Citizen probably needs still a lot more money to go. So the fact that they're making more money is a good thing for them. Obviously, you know, Chris Roberts has the ability to continue on doing what he wants to do. I mean, that's why he went with crowdfunding and macro transactions, is because he can continue doing what he wants to do with his project without having an executive producer standing over him telling him, like, no, we're not going to do that because that's going to take too much R&D time, or that's not how the industry does that. And that's just, there's too many questions of whether or not that's viable. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do it this way. And oh, by the way, you missed your I'm trying to remember what they call those dates, where they have goals where they have to deliver certain features by a certain date, and if they miss those dates, they don't
or something like that.
They don't get funding. Yeah,
milestones, deliver by
milestones. Yeah, milestones. Yeah, if you miss a milestone, if you're a developer that's working for a publisher and you're not owned by that publisher, the publisher in the contract will set certain milestones, and if you miss one of those milestones, and then there may be some grace periods in there. If you miss one of those milestones, you may not get your check for the next quarter, and that could be devastating for a company, especially for small companies that don't have a lot of capital. So
Is CIG still a small company with almost
they are no longer independent, in my opinion. They are no longer an indie company. They are a self-publisher now. They have made enough money and they've just demonstrated enough business acumen or acuwoman, is that more politically correct, Paul?
Yes.
Acuperson.
Acuwoman. Acuperson.
Acuperson.
I think acumen has nothing to do with gender, but okay.
It's a genderless phrase. So I think they've just demonstrated enough business sense that they are self-publishing essentially. They are a developer and they are a publisher rolled into one. Mm-hmm. Independent of a publisher, yes, but they're their own publisher essentially.
So something like CD Projekt Red or Valve.
Valve can self-publish. They built their own web store, and so is CIG. They built their own web store. So we're starting to see more of that happening these days. But as far as the call for boycotts, this is not the first time we've heard a call for boycott. This is not the first time we've seen people within the community, enough people in the community. I don't know how many, but there's some people, and there's enough of them to create an echo. I wouldn't say an echo chamber, but there's enough people to create the sound, a not insignificant sound, a call for a boycott.
Yeah.
A ruckus, yes.
Real quick, I'll just say that the Reddit thread had 1.2K upvotes, so at least 1.2K people agree.
Yeah, and that's like there's also an SC refund subreddit of just absolute black knights that just, and they haven't gone anywhere. They're still fans of Star Citizen, but they're just the opposite side of the white knight, right?
Yeah, I will say knight. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is apathy.
Apathy.
So if someone still cares enough about Star Citizen that they're talking about it all the time, even if they're like talking about refunds and all that kind of stuff, they still are passionate about the project, which is the reason why
they're passionate, but there's a different kind of passion.
Yeah.
Some people some people are passionate about Star Citizen failing because they just want to watch it all crumble down. It's like hearing about a building they're going to demolish in like the downtown whatever you live next to. Let's just go watch the building get knocked over because it's fun to watch stuff get knocked over, right?
Yeah.
Some people have had a lot of experience with Star Citizen, its funding, its internal workings, and they're so absolutely just enraged by their experience with it that they actively want to see it knocked over. So those people haven't left the project. They're still fans of Star Citizen. They still exist. They're still around, and they're still checking the news on Star Citizen to see any weakness that could exist within Star Citizen's infrastructure, and any sort of weakness that they perceive could be used to create a ruckus or trouble, calls for refunds, anything. You'll always have that magnifying effect within Star Citizen or any other project that people have been burned with. It's easy. Passion, right? Passion, it burns bright, but it could also burn you too. If your fan base is passionate, it's great. It's a bright beacon of light that you can use for your marketing campaign, but it also can come back and burn you too. And that's kind of Star Citizen. Sometimes the passion in the community is a beacon of light that draws in new customers, but sometimes it's so bright it burns you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do I think this call for like a boycott of Star Citizen is going to go anywhere? And fuck no. They've made how much money this last month on what?
2 million
skins for like the Aries Ion.
Hover
quads.
The hover quad, yeah.
Yeah, the hover token.
And, we still have 9 days to go, and they've already broken the record. Like
I bring it back around that CIG controls that number. That funding tracker, that's their webpage that they own. That they make no claims that it's accurate in any way. And if they do, they're probably liars.
Yeah, well, they also do have tax records that they publish on a
right for a few of their places, right? So like I don't 100% trust the funding tracker. To me, it's a nice number, but it lost all meaning after 51 million. Like I can't even fathom how much $400 million is.
I just wanted to add that
it's 51 times 4.
Okay,
before you add anything, I will say this just because I've seen this a lot. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, they're just lying. They're lying on their website." And the answer is, if you think they're lying, and you know they're lying, there are some serious, not just lawsuits, but there are some serious like criminal charges you could be brought.
Yeah, and we're basically
in places
going
like
back
the
down
EU.
to.
So if you actually believe that they're lying, then you should be looking into that. But unless you have evidence of that, then it's as hard to prove that they're lying as they're telling the truth.
Yeah.
At that point,
And we're at that point we're going back around to this is literally FUD, but fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You're going back to 90 days tops, and Mr. That one guy I'm not going to mention because he just doesn't need any more advertisement.
Yeah. You were gonna say something, Buster. You can add something.
I just wanted to add that the word boycott comes from the name of Captain Charles C. Boycott, an Irish land agent, so treated in 1880, in an attempt to instigated by the Irish Land League to get rents reduced.
Thank you, Vertigo.
So you prefer the term woman caught?
No, I just was curious because I'm like, what? Like, why is it boycott? Like, what does the word "caught" come from? I thought maybe it's like an angry boy or something. I don't know. I was just interested in the etymology.
An angry boy got caught stealing chicken.
Yeah.
And so they didn't want to steal any more chicken. I don't know.
But anyway, it's an interesting piece
to know.
of information.
Yeah.
But but it's not going to do anything. You know, boycott. There's so many people, and it's not just Star Citizen, right? Like, think about like when Yeti. I can't remember what it was Yeti did to piss off certain groups of people back in like 2 or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But Yeti people were like burning their Yetis and like blowing them up in their backyards and being like America.
Yeah. Because Yeti stopped supporting a discount for the NRA.
Mm-hmm.
So because Yeti would have had a discount where if you were a member.
But
of the
guess
NRA,
what?
you get a
Yeti's still, and all those people were doing in that case is they were burning their own money that they had already spent. There's too many people in this world who think boycott is to just like slander somebody, and it's like, no, it means you vote with your dollar, but you already bought like a crap ton of stuff. Yeah, you already bought it. Like there's been one on Carhartt lately too, and it's like I've had the same Carhartt for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So are you, Bob? Like, come on. Like some people are like, we're gonna boycott Star Citizen. Well, you still spent your money in it, babe. Like,
yes. Say it's.
I mean, that $25.
Go ahead.
Good. That $25 LTI token was just too much to pass up for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fastcart, what are your thoughts on this? Is this whole like funding thing, is this good for Star Citizen? Is it bad for Star Citizen?
Well, I'm interested in knowing what the new blood, new money, how much of that is coming in. Because we still have people trickling in from Elite Dangerous or No Man's Sky or other space games coming into Star Citizen. So I'm interested in saying, like, I think this is probably a perfect time to put out a cheap LTI token because, like I said, we have a whole lot of new players and they don't have access to LTI like many of us old backers do. Like I remember 3 years ago, they had an actual war bond that for the Gladius, they added LTI to any ship that you could have. So if you have a 6 months insurance on your package, you can slap on that CCU and bang, have an LTI package for a while. I missed those days, but So I'm interested in seeing how the new players are responding and whether or not they're hyped about LTI as some of its old backers are. But yeah, I don't think the boycott is doing much, even though there's a huge comma or 1.2K upvote on that thread. You can see that the people in the community saw that and said, "Hold my beer."
Well, I mean, it's also important to remember that as much as the CIG can supposedly be lying, the community could also be lying. 1.2K upvotes, they could easily be bot spammed. They could easily just be someone with a bot spam account hitting that up there.
Just like what I said about the funding tracker. Like, oh, that's great. Is that number even real?
Yeah. I mean, I will say that funding is a good example because it's not just the funding tracker. You can also look at things like CIG's website. Are they hiring? And the answer is they are. 135 jobs.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be hiring people if they couldn't pay them because you can't. If you don't pay people, they don't work for you. Like look at Crytek. Crytek was not closing down studios to stop paying people. What happened? A lot of them went to go work for CIG because they were paying them.
We're not seeing. Well, we're also not seeing stories about CIG not paying their bills like Crytek. Yeah. We're not seeing stories about ex-CIG employees all pissed off about company bouncing paychecks and oh, Chris Roberts couldn't pay us as we're running out of money. We're not seeing doom and gloom stories from CIG employees.
And you would know that like Kotaku would be fucking front page of Kotaku if that was happening.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say. On Soul Citizen, on Soul Talk a couple of Thursdays ago, we aired a recruitment video that CID Cloud Imperium Game put out, and that's brand new. It just came out this month, so yeah, they're looking for people. They have money, so you want a job, apply.
Yeah. And so, like I said, I just don't look at the funding tracker. You have to look at. There's a bunch of other things
contexts,
potential red flags you have to look for. Whether companies fudging the numbers a little bit, and one of those would be like employees talking about the through Glassdoor.com or even through like articles like Kotaku and whatnot.
Yeah, and I will say another thing that it's important to look is that I like Vertigo. I've pretty much stopped caring about the funding tracker. Like, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just numbers. Like, we reach another milestone. Yay. I mean, the reality
it's not like
is...
we're going to get a letter from the chairman every $1 billion anymore.
Yeah, right. I mean, I missed it for the 400 million. I still want that.
It's important to remember as well that, like, there are other sources. Like, is the average... Because you can look at how many people are watching Star Citizen on Twitch. There's numbers publicly available for you to know, like, the total numbers, or at least according to Twitch. And YouTube as well. You can look at the number of videos that are coming out and how many views each of those have, and if they're going up or going down. And I can tell you from my own experience, with more people watching me on Twitch and more people watching me on YouTube, that there's definitely new people coming in. Maybe they're old people who have just discovered me, but it's hard to really judge, because I don't think we're seeing a shrinking of audience in the Star Citizen community. We're seeing a growth of audience. And if you see a growth of audience, it usually means newer people are coming in to find it, or at least older people who used to back Star Citizen or back Star Citizen back in the day are now refinding it. And those people may be paying for things as well. So I think the funding is just one aspect of the whole thing. And do I think it's a good thing or a bad thing? It's a thing. Like, no, Star Citizen's not going anywhere, not in the near future. And the only thing that funding really matters is when it comes to things like, when is Squadron coming out? Because I think when you start looking at funding drying up or funding slowing down, they need to have some sort of way of rebalancing that, because, like, releasing Squadron would make them a lot of money just from the celebrities alone attached to that project. People will buy it just because Mark Hamill's in it, or John Rhys Davies in it, or Gillian Anderson's in it.
What's
Marcus
his name?
Strong's
Who did The Witcher? Like, he's been getting Henry
Henry
Cavill.
Cavill.
He's been getting a lot popular these days ever since his Superman, Justice League
and
whatnot. Witcher.
And he's in Star Citizen too. Like, he's a big role in Star Citizen. Like,
Can I just say that Invictus Week is a stroke of genius, because they started out in 2019, I want to say. 2020. And that year, when it first had Invictus, funding just exploded for them. So that was a stroke of genius. Instead of just doing IAE once a year, it's technically twice a year with Invictus being the first one of the year.
Yeah. So yeah, it's basically they have two big IAE sales a year, big anniversary sales a year. So I don't know. I think it's fascinating to watch the funding, but I think reading anything into funding other than line go up is kind of a mistake.
Stonks.
Yeah, stonks. People in chat have mentioned things like, what is it? Inflation. Like, this could be matter with inflation. It's like, I don't, other than this last year, inflation has been pretty steady. And even if you look at,
I'll give an example of inflation: the cutlass steel.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But the reality is that like $2014 or $2012 versus $2022 probably aren't that much of a difference, or, a couple of cents, maybe a buck. So, like, even if it was like a multiple dollars, you still have significant increases if you adjusted for inflation. So, And it's also, and as another chat put it out, it's not like they're sitting on a hoard of gold. They don't have $430 million
in a bank account.
In a bank account somewhere.
They're not dragons.
No. Chris Roberts is a dragon, though.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's a space dragon who comes down and eats your children. That's what I hear from a good source. All right?
Oh, I'm going to
They're dragging their
heels
heels on delivering the next updates. There's a joke in there somewhere.
There's a joke about that.
Paul said you're an ancient space dragon that eats kids.
What, me?
I know, that was rude. I know,
can
you
totally
only
get down with
eat
that.
peasants. It's fine. Okay, bye.
He only
She's
eats
talking
console
Chris
players. Yeah. Anyways, with that, I think we're going to end this discussion section and move on to the question and answer session. Thank you so much.
I didn't get to the battle trolley, Paul.
Let's go talk about the battle trolley. Let's talk about the battle trolley,
yes.
Fastcart, because you wanted to talk about the battle trolley. Let's do that.
Yes. So this is from Disco Leno, not me. So the full disclaimer: Paul the actual pub doesn't have anything to do with this. If you take a picture of the battle trolley, send it to _John Crew, and with the quote, "Hey John Crew, we saw the battle trolley on SCO. When is it coming to the persistent universe?" Tweet that out to him. If you get to 300, we'll get the battle trolley in game. And I'm looking forward to the battle trolley because I want it to become the next Ship Showdown winner, just like the Argo Cargo with. So that's where I'm going with that.
Just make it Drake. Make it a Drake manufacturer, and it makes so much more sense if it's the Drake battle trolley. All right, that's all we need. So Jared made Fastcart do this. I'm also making him do this. Go tweet at John Crew asking about the battle
_John
trolley.
Crew.
Underscore John Crew. Yes. At _John Crew. Just like Buster put it in the chat right there. Tweet at him about the battle trolley. He needs to get 300 mentions. He was at 20 last I checked.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. 20.
No, it said 20 plus.
Yes.
Like at a certain point, Twitter's like, okay.
Be polite about it. Just talk about how excited you are that he's bringing the battle trolley into the game. Yeah, just be very grateful that he's bringing the battle trolley into the game.
Yeah, don't try to come shit on his lawn or something, guys.
No,
come on.
No. Who can we tweet for Theaters of War? You can tweet the devil because that's where it is. It's in hell with the rest of Sadabal. It's buried next to Sadabal in the pet cemetery.
Here, I feel like we haven't heard much from Sean since that kind of. And I feel really bad because I hope he hasn't been like avoiding being on things because he knows he's going to get asked about
Theaters of War. Yeah.
And because I love the guy, I love him. He's so sweet and pure, and yeah, like let's just let Theaters of War just do whatever it's going to do without. let's give him one. Let's give him one.
They've been working on it. I
know, but let's let him stay mum about it.
Yeah.
Let's let him stay mum about it. They'll get it. They'll figure it out. We'll get there.
Though I think everyone in the panel can who has been around here long enough to know that like we'd much rather, at least I'd much rather them get something like that done and then release it than just forever like put it out as broken and then never update it like Star Marine or Arena Commander or
the Hangar module.
Yeah. That's just
enough that when people are giving feedback on it, it's like feedback on how to make it better instead of saying, well, it's like I can't pull out a gun.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
So with that, let's call it a day and we'll be back with question and answers. Thank you so much to Fastcart, Buster, and HCVertigo for taking their time to join us and talk. I will say Buster or Vertigo at least it messaged me like 4 times like, Paul, I want to come to the captain's table. I want to come to the captain's table. I want to come on the captain's table. I'm going crazy. I feel like are you just slowly going insane on your own, Vertigo?
Yeah. Wake up every day. It's the same routine.
So thank you.
In the membrane.
Thank you for all of y'all to come on and spend your time with us. If you enjoyed this, make sure you follow them, subscribe to them, do all those things. And if you want to watch this live every Saturday, or almost every Saturday, at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UTC, come join us live to ask your own questions, because we're going to have questions and answer session coming up right now. And check this out as well. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment down below your own discussions on any of these topics. Love to hear
be
from you.
nice.
And be nice, because I will just ban you and laugh at it. Or what I'll do is, if you make a dumb comment, I will clip that comment and put it on Twitter, making fun of you, and then get all of my friends to
be
echo
nice
chamber about how stupid you are. So be nice. Please give me content. All right, and like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.
Oh, leave my mom out of this.
Streamer.
I'm a pro streamer.
Great ending.
There we go.
Great ending. Oh no! What happened?